Hi everyone, welcome back. So in this video we are going to see how we can work with JSON in SQL Server. So as you know, in today's world JSON is mostly used in our web application to exchange the data. So same will happen when we have to store a data in database. So mostly this JSON data is stored in our tables. For database operations we need to extract data from this JSON or simplify the data. In such case we need to use the built-in JSON functions which are in SQL Server. So JSON is mostly used when in SQL Server when we don't know the exact or when the data does not have any fixed structure. Like in NoSQL we store the JSON based on the user input and it is dynamic. Some JSON might have some fields and some JSON might not have some fields. So in such case of data we can use our JSON functions in SQL Server. Now let's look at some example JSON. So first I will declare one variable which will be of data type and varchar, and then I have assigned one sample JSON to this JSON variable. Now we are going to see how we can access data from this JSON. So first we are going to see a JSON value function. So JSON value is mostly used to extract only single value. So like here from this JSON I just want a value of brand. So here we can use a JSON value function. Here first value we have to pass our JSON and then we have tell which key value we want. Key has to be passed as $sign dot then exact key name. This name and this name should be matched. We got take brand from our JSON. If I change the name here, so see we are getting null. So make sure that this key name and the key name we are passing in this function, it should match. So now we have seen how to get single value, but if you want to open this JSON as a tabular form, so in such case we have to use function called OPENJSON. So OPENJSON we have to pass our JSON and then it will give us three columns. First is key column, then second is value column, and then third is type. What is a data type based on of the value? So based on that its value will be set. So type value are here given. Based on the data structure the type value changes. So for string value it is 1, then for double it is 2, then for double with precision it is also 2, then for boolean value true or false it is 3, then if any key has null value then it is 0, then array values it is 4, and then if there are nested object in the parent object then it will be 5. So OpenJSON has given us value as a fixed key value pair, but if you want to open this JSON as a tabular format then what we have to do is there is one more clause which is width, and in this width we have to give first a key name or whatever, like here I am going to give it name capital. Okay, then what will be a data type of this JSON? It will be varchar, and then we have give key name which is in this JSON. Okay, so first we have to give alias, means what we are going to call this name while selecting the query, or you can directly give this name here. It should match, so OpenJSON will map it with the JSON. Otherwise you can give it like this in case you want to call something else to this key from JSON. Okay, so we have map name with small name, brand with small brand, and price with small price, and I have given a decimal data type. So it will be by default 18/2 precision and decimal scale. Now let's select it. Okay, if you can see we got our data in tabular form. First column is name, second is brand, third is price. Same here, in case instead of JSON we have passed it as array of JSON. I will copy same JSON here and make it as array of JSON. Here I will keep it laptop 2, trade brand 2, and if we run this query, so we got two data, it's two row. First is laptop, second is laptop. So in this way you can extract data from JSON in a tabular form, and then you can store it in some table for later use. Now what if you want to modify some data in SQL Server? So in such case there is function called JSON modify to modify existing JSON. So to change the JSON, so in JSON modify you have to first pass the existing JSON, then the key whose value you want to change, and the new value. So let's execute this query. I have written, so I have selected data before modifying and after modifying. So if you can see, first it was 899.99 and now it is 799.99. So while writing a query, we need to make sure that JSON we are passing in these functions is valid JSON. Otherwise this function will throw error while performing the operation. So for that we have inbuilt function called isJSON function. So in isJSON we have to pass our JSON, and it will, if it is a valid JSON, it will write 1, otherwise it will write 0. Our JSON is valid JSON, so it has written 1 value. If I do some changes in this JSON, like I remove double quotes from this JSON. Now let's see. So see here it has given 0. That means the value we have passed in this function is not a valid JSON. If I pass this wrong formatted JSON in our OPENJSON function, see it has given me this error that JSON is not properly formatted, unexpected character. In such case, we can put this function is where clause equals to 1, then execute. It has not given us error, so it will only pass the valid JSON to this OPENJSON function. Now if I again make it correct, so it has given us value. So with this we have seen a basic functions of JSON, which is extracting data from JSON, then modifying JSON, and then check whether the JSON is valid or not. So now we are going to see how we can handle a advanced JSON SQL Server. So for that I have got one JSON which is nested JSON. So this JSON is having one more JSON specification and tags key which is array. So now let's query it. So I am extracting the product ID, then name, and then specification, okay, which is nvarchar. So if I run this query, see we got product ID, name, but this specification is null. This is because this specification is itself a JSON. So for that we have to make pass as JSON. Okay, so if we now query it, see we got our JSON function query data. Now also if we want to extract this specification value, what we can do, we can cross apply. Again open JSON. Here I will call this first table data as alias a, then in cross apply a dot we are going to pass the specifications again with clause with we are going to extract the processor and RAM. Let's call it B. Now if we run our query, so we got processor also and RAM also with our laptop and product ID. So now we have seen how we can extract data from nested JSON. So now let's see how we can extract data from array. For that same query we have to write, we will select tags from our JSON, okay, which has key tags and nvarchar, and here we have just passed a dollar. We select it, we are getting all the values of this array. If we do not pass dollar, we are going to get all the null value because it is the array. So we have to give it a key, but key value for array is null, means there is no keys in array. In that case we have to just pass it a dollar sign. So you will get all the values from the array. Let's one more see example. Okay, so in this JSON what we are going to do is make this specification as array of specifications. One more specification, instead of I7 I will make it I5 16 to 8. Okay, now if we run the query, we get a 2 data. First it has cross applied, so it will give us 2 laptops because there are 2 JSON. So for both the JSON in specification, it has mapped the laptop and product ID 1. So now what if you want a tags as it is we have passed in a JSON. So for that what we can do is, instead of passing the dollar, okay, we just have to pass as JSON here. So we have given a wrong key, that's why we got the error. So see here, this key name and this key name should match. Okay, so for as JSON we have to make the nvarchar as max. So if you can see, for each row we got our tags as it is, as we have passed it in our JSON. So in this way you can write complex queries to extract a complex JSON data. Just make sure that if you are writing this complex query in some like stored procedure or functions, so this keys and the data we are getting as an input should always be same, otherwise it will fail. The stored procedure and function, the operation you are trying to execute, it will fail. So now we have seen how we can change the input JSON data and extract data from it, but we have not seen, if we have already data in our database, how we can change it to JSON, pass it or export as output. Okay, so for that I'm using our eShop database. So we have this product table in which we have the product data, right? So to change this tabular data into JSON, there is clause called for JSON, and there are two mode, auto and path. So see, it has given us the JSON. So ID is 9. It will give array of JSON, okay, based on the result. So it will always be array of JSON. So if you don't want array, means if there are only one row, right, and you want direct JSON instead of array of JSON, so there is one more clause without array wrapper. So it will give you direct JSON instead of array of JSON. Now one more thing you have to make sure that whenever if there are any column which has null value, so by default it will skip, okay, so that the JSON we are going to get will not have the key value of that column because it is null. So if you want to include that column, you have to pass one more clause here, which is include null value. So it will make sure whatever data we are getting here. So see here, modified date and discount amount is null. So if I run this query without include null value, I'm getting this JSON. And here, if you can see, we do not have discount field, okay, and modified date also we do not have. But if I run this query with include null value, so in this JSON we have see discount amount as null and same modified date as null. So this is useful when we are passing data to our backend or maybe some front end application where we are trying to read this field. So, and in case if it is not there in JSON, it might break the application. So to avoid this, we can add this include null value. So it will keep all the JSON format as same number of keys, same number of, okay. So there are one more mode which is path. So what is difference between node and what is difference between auto and path? So auto will build a JSON based on this select query. So if I give so here if I give auto, so it will build a JSON based on the names of this column in select query. So see here, but if I give it path, so based on the path, as maybe I will create a nested JSON in this price dot original price. Now if I run this query, see we got one more JSON in it, name then description, okay. So to avoid this dollar, we can remove it from here. So see here it has built one more JSON of name price, and in that price it has mapped the original price value to original price key. So with this, we have wrapped up our advanced guide for JSON in SQL Server. So if you enjoy this video, please like, subscribe and hit the bell notification to get more such SQL Server videos. Thanks for watching.